Nothing brings people together like La Ventanita, the walk-up windows where Miami meets to drink Cuban coffee and swap stories. I'm Carlos Frias, the Miami Herald food editor. In each episode of La Ventanita, we'll talk with some of the world's best chefs to get a window into their lives while tasting some strong Cuban coffee and some delicious traditional Cuban snacks. Daniel Boulud is one of the greatest living French chefs, yet he remains one of the most curious and creative minds in the business. He talked to us about being a troublemaker as a kid.
Basically, I told my parents at 14 that I will not go to school anymore.
What his 4-year-old picked up from his old man.
He's always coming to the kitchen, saying high five to all the chefs in the kitchen.
Plus, we teach him how to double fist Cuban coffee and croquetas.
Shot of coffee, shot of croquetas.
We took over his Miami restaurant and brought him some of our favorite goodies. We have Chef Daniel Boulud, and since your Spanish isn't great and my French is terrible, let's just try to do it in English.
Absolutely, but we're gonna make a trip to Europe together.
Oh my God.
We'll do...
That's on film. I'm going on a trip to Europe with Daniel Boulud.
We'll go to France and speak only French, and you'll take me to Spain and speak only Spanish.
Oh my God, yeah, let's do that already. So, una colada.
Ooh.
So, we'll have that. And then kind of go from there.
You know the secret for the Cuban coffee? What is the secret to the Cuban coffee?
Are you gonna tell me, or you want me to try to tell you?
I want you to tell me.
Oh my God! Now he's on. Well, for me, I think that the major difference between the espressos is getting the sugar and just the first few drops of espresso and whipping it together, creating that paste and then creating that simple syrup, that almost coffee flavored simple syrup.
Right.
And then it dissipates and it gets just infused throughout the whole coffee. And for me, I can't, I know the
That's
Italians,
what I heard. I never done it. That sort of like few first drop and then whip it. But I'm gonna try to do it today.
A little while. Hopefully it's still warm. But a little coladita is never wrong.
Absolutely. First call is a Cuban coffee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers
to you. Thank you. Cheers. Did you put rum?
No.
It's amazing, huh? You see the sugar cane and the sugar give you that almost like, it feels like there's rum in it.
Right, because you have, like you said, the sugar cane.
I think that complex combination with and it's only two things, sugar and coffee,
right?
But very unique.
What's your breakfast look like? And at what time is your breakfast?
Breakfast is very religious in my home. First, we have breakfast with the kid. I mean, I have the privilege to not have my kid going to school too early yet, so we can have breakfast together.
Is that how you, this is your son, right?
Yes,
your
my son, 4.5-year-old,
What's his name?
And he loves Julien. And he loves eggs. And so we have our ritual with the eggs as well, because it's a 4.5-minute eggs where, it's just like the white is perfectly set, but the yolk is still runny and warm.
Is he aware of that dad cooks for a living?
Yeah.
Is he aware of
that?
But very
soon we're gonna switch. We're gonna start to go, into a more exotic breakfast. Plus I live right above the restaurant in New York. So I live the floor above the restaurant. So he's always coming to the kitchen, saying high five to all the chefs in the kitchen. And I go home and we cook together. He kind of sneak in to the kitchen and see what's going on. So it's getting it early.
Who's the cook in your house?
It was my grandmother, it was my mother. Even my father loved to bake. He baked breads. He liked to make smoked salmon. He liked to make ham. So
food for you is very much tied to conversations and
absolutely. And there is absolutely no distraction from either phone or TV or anything. It's just like the family, and we are a big family.
So we have guava, cheese, and meat. And also we have croquetas, which you'll find at every party. Thank you.
Wow,
this is very. I'll let you, because I was gonna. I'll be honest. I was just gonna.
The meat is this one.
That's the meat. Yeah.
Huh?
I was just gonna tear into it with my hands. So that just tells.
Oh
you.
Yeah.
I'm uncouth.
I think we should tear it with our hand, but
I am the ugly American right now.
Beef.
Beef. What
I love it.
What are your first impressions of that?
I never had the full tasting. I had the croquetas. And,
you got a little bit of Chris. Do you want a little more coffee?
a
Or are you
touch.
okay? A
Yeah.
touch between the sugar, between the coffee and the sugar.
Yeah, I'm totally hyped with this one. Shot of coffee, shot of croquetas.
What were you like as a kid? Were you ornery? Did you get into trouble? Were you a good? Were you a good? Were you?
I can't tell you all the trouble I got in, but I was basically. I told my parents at 14 that I will not go to school anymore.
Wow.
And then I wanted to cook, and so they were a little panicked with me, and so they put me into a small college, and within 3 weeks, I told my parents I don't want to be there anymore because the teacher there was so bad. I felt the food was worse than at home, and how am I going to learn anything if the food is not even good?
Oh my God!
So
you had such a culinary opinion at that point. At
I
that
think
age.
so. I mean, I don't recall clearly, but I know that I wanted to quit so bad.
Wow.
And so I had the chance to have some, because my parents were farmers, and we were making beautiful things all the time to sell to the farmers market, cheese and all kind of, from chicken to duck to squab to guinea hen to turkey and baby goats and all that, and then vegetables and charcuterie. So people were very sensitive to all the things we were making, and we had amazing people buying our product. And one of them was a contessa living in my village.
Wow. Okay.
And when my parents told her, we don't know what to do with Daniel, he don't want to go to school, and he want to be a cook. And she said, well, let me find him the best restaurant for him to work in. And she went around and asked all the 2-star and 3-star Michelin restaurant around Lyon. And she found one, a 2-star who could take me, and that's when I started.
So if it wasn't for you being such a pain in the ass as a kid,
I know.
you would never have gotten into going immediately to a 2-star restaurant.
And then I started to live by myself at 14
Wow.
in Lyon and going home once a week.
You've had a 14-year-old now, so how
I don't think I will let him live home and live by himself.
how different, right? How different
Yeah.
times are, and now you have a different perspective of what your parents must have thought.
Yeah, but I don't know. My parents kind of trust me, and not that I didn't get in trouble for sure.
Talk about that a little bit. How much you've seen
Oh,
the
I've
kitchen
always-
culture change.
I mean, we always had a great mix of ladies and men working in the kitchen, and to me, as a very young chef, I worked in France, and in France we had les mères, where the mother, the mère, were the most represented. They were basically running restaurants, and one of them during the 30s, 40s, 50s, she had 2 3-star restaurants, one in the city, one outside of the city. And I work at La Mer Blanc in Vonas, which is north of Lyon. And it was very interesting to be led by women.
Yeah, and tell
As
me
a
about
young chef. La Mer Blanc, it was like very kind and family. It was like a family-oriented feeling. I came from a restaurant where it was also very strict and like the brigade, and there were no women in the kitchen, to La Mer Blanc, where suddenly there's a woman leading the kitchen, and the assistants and the lady who has done the specialty there for the last 30 years in the kitchen still. Wow. So it was, to me, it was one of the most interesting experience because it was a different set of ambiance and goal. I think the soul was more deep, I will say, in that. I mean, I think the perfection was reached through this not only the simplicity, but the real soul in the food.
What is it like to be the chef where you are now curating this? You're carrying around this knowledge, that now younger chefs are learning from you, younger cooks, whole generations are learning from chefs such as yourself?
Well, I'm always excited to keep learning. And of course, transmitting, it's something very important also. And to that, we have been working very hard about 12 years ago with Thomas Keller and with Jérôme Bocuse and many of the American chefs. We have created a foundation called Mentor. And Mentor is about mentoring young chefs.
Okay.
And helping young chefs becoming greater chefs.
Well, Chef Daniel, I appreciate you taking the time out.
Thank you, Carlos. You're the best.
I'm glad that I was able to show you something a little bit this is very Miami.
We made a mess out of all this.
No, that's good.
Thank you,
Chef,
Carlos.
Thanks again.
Thank you
Real
so
pleasure.
much. Huh?
Thanks
Thank you.
again.